In today's world, getting shortlisted for a job interview is tough, but cracking it to secure the job is even tougher. And many candidates miss out on great opportunities not because of lack of skill, but because of lack of preparation, low confidence, and bad storytelling skills. So if you're scared of facing job interviews, then this video is for you. We will go over the exact steps that you need to prepare for your interview and ace it. Hi everyone, my name is Shashank and I've been on both sides of the table. I've cracked some really tough interviews and I've taken multiple interviews, and in this 7 year of professional experience, I've observed other people do the same as well. And in this video, we are going to distill all my learnings so that you're able to prepare for your job interview better. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. And to make things simple, this video has 3 parts: pre-interview, during interview, and post-interview. So watch till the very end. Now, before we start preparing for the job interview, there is something that we need to understand very well. What is the interview process like? How many rounds are expected? Who are the people who will interview me? Now, typically there are 3 rounds. HR round, where they check for culture fit, hiring manager round, where they gauge your skills and your ability to solve problems, and then somebody in the senior leadership may interview you depending on the seniority for which you are interviewing. And the strategy for preparing for all of these interviews are very different. So please don't think that one single strategy will help you crack all the interview rounds. Understand which stage of the interview process you are at and then accordingly strategize and optimize. Let's take the example of my current job, which is at Glance by InMobi, which is an enterprise level company. And for me, I had to transition from the education startup world to a large enterprise, which was a very tough thing to do. Changing your industry and moving from a startup to a larger industry is not so easy. So in this company, I had total of 4 rounds and 1 assignment. And for each of these interviews, I prepared differently, which led me to getting this job. So I will repeat, please understand the nature of the job and the hiring process before you start preparing. Now let's jump to the 3 parts that I talked about: pre-interview, during interview, and post-interview. We'll start with the first section, which is pre-interview. What are the things you need to do before you get into the interview? Number 1, research the company very well. There are a lot of candidates who appear for interviews who don't even bother learning about the company for which they are interviewing. So if you manage to research about the company well, you are already ahead of 70% of the candidates. Now the question is, how do I do my research? Go to the website, go to social media, read comments on social media posts. You may want to read up a few customer stories, customer reviews. You may want to check out the blogs that the company has published. If they have published any white papers or research papers or reports, go through that. You may want to check out the posts by the senior leadership or the leadership of the company. All of this gives you an idea of what the company stands for and what is it that you can do in order to be a part of the company. Now, once you're done with the generic research, the idea is to go one level deeper. So if you're interviewing for a role in the marketing team, you may want to analyze the marketing campaigns, the ads that they are running, the social media campaigns, and everything related to marketing so that you're able to build an opinion for yourself. So when I was preparing for my job at Glance, I went through their annual reports, social media posts, customer testimonials, user reviews. In fact, I even found someone in the marketing team and spoke to them to get deeper insights so that I'm able to prepare for the interview better. And instead of giving generic answers, you will be able to give examples which suit the company and their requirements, increasing the chance of your candidature. Number 2, learn about the interviewer. Most candidates miss this, but this could be a game changer. Check their LinkedIn profile to get an idea of their employment history and their career. Next, see if your interviewer has posted content online. It could be blogs, YouTube videos, tweets, LinkedIn posts, or LinkedIn articles. And in the interview process, you can reference them to showcase that you've done your homework. Now, researching about your interviewer can have multiple advantages. You can give answers which are personalized and tailored to the interest of the interviewer, and you also feel a little more comfortable and familiar with their presence. Number 3, look at the job description very carefully and then try to understand what is it that the company wants from the candidate who gets hired. What are the top 3 things that they're expected to do? Now, to understand the job description better, what you can do is you can upload the JD on ChatGPT or Gemini, and then you can write a few lines about the company for which you're interviewing, and then you can ask ChatGPT that, hey ChatGPT, what are the things that the company is looking for? What are the possible questions that can come up in the interview? So during my interview process, I did the same thing. I uploaded the JD, a few lines about the company, and then I tried to ask ChatGPT that, hey bro, what are the questions that can possibly be asked in the interview? Talking to ChatGPT helped me brainstorm and my preparation level got better, and that led to increased confidence during the interview process. So please spend time trying to understand what is it that the company is looking for, because once you do, you can prepare accordingly. Number 4, master your resume. Now you need to be very thorough with the things that you have mentioned in the resume, and you should be able to back it with data points or examples. The interviewer would want to understand what is it that you did at the last company, why you did it, how you did it, what were the results out of the efforts that were put in. 95% plus resumes have either exaggerated information or wrong information, and interviewers are smart. They usually do not believe just the resume. So during the interview process, the interviewer would want to gauge your experiences and see see if you have mentioned things truly in the resume. So whenever you're asked a question, answer with confidence. See, ultimately the core idea is to be able to match your past experiences with the expectations of the job. If you're able to resonate, then the chances of you getting hired is high. Be thoroughly prepared. Now we're done with the first part, which is pre-interview. Now let's go to the second part, which is what are the things you need to do during the interview. First, we need to do a mindset shift. The interviewer is not looking for reasons to reject you. Rather, they're looking for reasons to hire you. Now let's get to the pointers. First, be well dressed. Even if it is an online interview, you should look sharp and clean. Dress to impress, and more importantly, dress to feel confident. Number two, be before time and not on time. So if the interview starts at 11, be ready by 10:45. If you're doing it online, connect with the internet, see if your camera and mic is working properly. If you have a nice background, you are away from noises. You do not want to create disturbances during the interview. And if it's an offline interview, reach 15 minutes before, drink water, be confident, and then start the interview. Number three, which is very important, listen to the questions properly. Do not be in the hurry of giving answers even before the interviewer finishes their question. And you do not need to give an answer immediately. If you've not understood the question, feel free to ask a follow-up question so that you're able to get more details and you're able to accordingly give an answer which is appropriate. Please understand, the interviewer here is not looking for right answers. What they're looking for is your thought process. How do you think? How do you handle problems? What are the ways in which you think of a problem and how do you go about solving it? So it's okay to think out loud. When you're asked the question, don't be silently thinking about it. Rather, whatever comes to your mind, talk to the interviewer as if they are a friend and not a police investigator. Number four, do not give generic answers. Try to enrich your answers with some examples which makes it easily relatable. For example, you should not say that yes, I have experience in managing social media. A better way to answer that would be, hey, I worked in managing social media for my last company and I was able to grow it from X followers to Y followers, which helped in increasing website visits by this much. It helped in increasing sales by this much, and this was the average engagement rate. So enrich your answers with examples and data pointers so that the answers are not generic. Do not give generic answers. You will lose the attention of the interviewer. The idea is to be able to connect with them, and to connect, you need to give examples and things that the interviewer or you are able to relate to. Fifth, never say no when the interviewer asks that, hey, do you have a question for me? Ideally, you should be able to ask smart questions, because saying no shows that you are underconfident or you want the job so desperately that you do not have questions for the interviewer. For example, when I was asked this question, I asked that, hey, if I get hired, what does my career progression at InMobi or Glance look like? And then I asked, what are the current challenges that you're facing in community building and how do you think that this potential hire can help? And the responses to those answers increased my belief in the company, and the insights helped me craft my assignment better. Now let's jump to the final part, which is what you need to do after the interview. Number one, send out a nice thank you note to the HR and the hiring manager. Thank them for their time and thank them for the opportunity that you are given. Number two, if at all there have been mistakes, try to fix them. So if you fumbled or were not able to answer something, you can use this opportunity to fix that by writing a better answer to the question. A well thought out correction can strengthen your candidature. So if you've made mistakes, try to fix them in this email. Number three, follow up but smartly. In case you've not heard back from the recruiter or the hiring manager, you may want to send out an email trying to understand what does your candidature look like. Be polite, be professional, but please do not sound desperate. To conclude, interviews are not just about proving yourself to be the right fit for the company. It is also about you checking if the company is the right fit for you. You should think of the interviewer like a friend or a potential colleague. Please note, interviews are not interrogations, they are conversations. And good conversations last. Good conversations stay in the memory of the interviewer, and that can lead to you being hired. And do not get disheartened if you get rejected. I understand it can be very painful, but do not give up. Treat all of these interview experiences like a learning. And if you want to do more mock interviews, use ChatGPT and Gemini and ask ChatGPT to behave like an interviewer. Upload the job description, upload the resume, give it the statement that, hey, you are my interviewer and I want you to prepare me for the real interview that happens. And practice until you start feeling comfortable. And please remember, nobody is perfect. There is no perfect candidate. You need to be the right candidate for the right job role. So if you're getting rejected, do not think of yourself as an inferior person. You may not be fit for that job role, but there would be something definitely where you can fit in and contribute meaningfully. So don't give up. And we come to the end of the video. So if you found this video helpful, please share this with one friend who can benefit out of this. And do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.